This is the Henry's Child Podcast. Am I crazy? Or am I just raving?
Today we've got another missing music episode. And the song that we're going to look at today is actually not a Henry's Child song. Kind of. I'll explain that in just a second. But the song we're going to look at today is going to be more of a comparison. So I have kind of an original version, and then the version that was going to go on the record I Have Become, and then ended up getting earmarked for One of the Numb. And as any Henry's Child fan knows, both of those records are in the works, and we put them on pause to record and release Listen Closely. But before we get into it, I think it's important to get a few updates out of the way. First and foremost, we hope that 2021 is treating you a little bit better and with a little more respect than 2020. It's been a rough time for all of us. So thank you for hanging in there with us and being a part of our Henry's Child and 7 Second Circle family. We appreciate you way more than we say, and we think about you way more often than we let on. So thank you. And I hope that your life has not changed that much. And if it has, I hope that you're adapting to it and that we can provide a soundtrack that is going to just help you get through it. So as far as updates are concerned, Friday, March 5th is another Bandcamp fee-waiving Friday. If you have not downloaded the Listen Closely record or need a copy of I Have Become on vinyl or cassette, or you want a digital copy of Clearly Confused, head over to Bandcamp on Friday, March 5th, and you can get it with all the fees waived. Now, we chose Bandcamp because it's actually one of the services that's available that charges the least amount to the artist. So that's a really, really good thing, and it passes along those savings to the people that create the art in the first place. So March 5th, Bandcamp fee-waiving Friday. The other thing is that 7 Second Circle now has a newsletter list, and you can sign up for it at 7secondcircle.com, and right below the Divide record image that you see on the landing page or the home page is a place to put in your first name and your email address. And once you put that in there and you hit the download button, you will be sent a copy of Bitter. Now, if you have the Divide record, it's the same version that's on there. So really, this is more set up for people who aren't fans already, since we're actually heading out to push a new EP coming out very, very soon. So this is just sort of in preparation for that. And you might actually get a kick out of the story. I mean, even Henry's Child fans would love the autoresponder that I send. It's called The 7 Second Circle Story in 7 Minutes, and I think you'll get a kick out of it. So go sign up at 7secondcircle.com. So 2 other pieces of just housekeeping. First off, it was brought to my attention that episode 65 was up for a couple days and then it accidentally left. And what happened is I must have ticked some button when I was manually uploading it, and I put an expiration date on it for both Spotify and iTunes. So that was caught, and it is fixed. So episode 65 is now available on Spotify, if that's where you listen to the Am I Crazy or Am I Just Raving podcast. And finally, we have rumblings of our first show back. And this is going to be a replacement show for a 2020 show that got canceled in Nevada. And I don't have any more details than that I can share with you. But when I get a date and the contract has been signed, I will definitely be letting you know so that you can take a road trip and see your favorite band live. Today's song is called The End of You. And it originally is a song that was written by Andrew and a guy named Quinn Cardwell. And Quinn played with us in really 3 projects, I guess. One would be called Quoting Scripture. One would be called Mnemonic Machines. And then, of course, he was in Henry's Child for a few minutes. And so really, this song is Andrew and Quinn's song altogether. And what you're about ready to hear is the first version that we did as Quoting Scripture. Now, Some context here is very important. Quoting Scripture was the first getting back together with Andrew for me and Rich. It was really Doug Kramer's presence that brought Henry's Child back together in 2014. But fast forwarding a few years before that, we had the band Quoting Scripture that eventually became Mnemonic Machines. Now, the idea with Quoting Scripture was that it was going to be more of like a studio band. It was going to be more like an elbow type band where we could use things like samples and we could experiment with different drum beats. And it really stemmed from a love of bands like Death Cab for Cutie and Postal Service, that sort of thing. So it's important to remember that the context of this was before Mnemonic Machines and was during the time that Andrew and Rich were in Memory of Green. So they kind of already had this kind of acoustic harmony, maybe something a little bit more mellower as an influence, right? So what happened is we got together and in lieu of just kind of looking for songs to play, we ended up adopting one of Quinn's songs. And again, called End of You. That's a Quinn and Andrew song that they wrote together a couple years before. But what stood out for us was the fact that the chorus is really almost like an urban anthem. It's really something that you would hear from a big band on the radio. And while it was presented to us as a very busy song, what you're going to hear on the Henry's Child version is Rich actually playing mandolin. And that was what was going to be slated for One of the Numb, which is one of the forthcoming records. But we'll get to that in a sec. So first, I'm going to play you the version of End of You by Quoting Scripture. This was recorded by Jarrett Hawley in the Transuber studio up in Salem, where we rehearse. And it really shows a raw idea of what the song could potentially be. And what you'll hear is you'll hear Quinn playing the chords and Rich essentially playing the lead. Now remember, the big payoff for this song is in the chorus itself. So here is Quoting Scripture's version of End of You.
Every space in here is filled with things we'll never do. A faded couch, a quiet song. I still have that Pink Floyd poster on my wall you left. Like our photographs, my memory brick, a little blood. Watched you fall into a cloud of bliss and not get up. Can't ignore the us before. Your light will always shine upon my soft air space.
The End of You from Quoting Scripture. Likely the first and only time you will hear that version of this song. So, like I said, we added this into a pool of a bunch of different material that we recorded for the 2-record set of I Have Become One of the Numb. Originally appearing on I've Become, this was replaced when at the last minute we decided to pivot and put Tell Me True on the record instead. So really what you're about ready to hear is the Henry's Child version. Now keep in mind, this is the Henry's Child version of somebody else's song. So it's going to be slightly a little bit more rhythmic, based in a little bit more of a rhythm. And this is where Rich put down the guitar and picked up the mandolin. And in fact, he actually used the Baby Unicorn, which we've made references to and played a bunch of stuff from Almost Gone with that particular instrument. And a lot of the reason is because Quinn's guitar part is so busy and there's just a lot of stuff going on that it fills the gaps very nicely. Now, on this particular version too, a couple things I'm reminded of. First off, the previous version that you just heard had Chris Cardwell on drums. Absolutely fantastic guy who's also the brother of Quinn. So Quinn and Chris Cardwell, absolutely wonderful dudes. Just some of the best, good, down-to-earth people that you'll ever meet. Fabulous guys. And I hope that I get to play music with them again sometime in the future. It also was the experimentation of me getting that fretless jazz bass. And you can hear me sort of doing a little bit of noodling there, trying to sort of navigate what the fretless sounds like and how to really utilize it in the context of what we're doing. So the other thing is that I heard on this next version that there's keys that either Jarrett or Rich put on. And I should also address too that because this was Andy's song in the beginning, it really has some special meaning for him in that you can tell in the verses what he's referencing is a friendship, or maybe the reference to a friendship that had died or was fading away. And it does beg to differ that question of, is it better to burn out than it is to fade away? So, every relationship is different, and that's one thing that we have to really consider, because it is impossible to know when things are going to end. And that is really, I think, what the essence of this song is talking about. And on the flip side of that, I would add to it to savor every moment that occurs, because we don't know when the end is coming, either in the end of death or the death of a relationship or some sort of heartache or heartbreak that would occur based around what we do as humans. So that said, this is the unmixed version of End of You. When Jarrett split, he basically stopped working on it and gave me what he had. And so I did my best with this. This is the version that was going to be sent down for some background vocals that were going to be done by Rich Miller's little brother, Joe Muscatello, which we actually never completed and never was sent. So sorry about that, Joe. Hopefully we can make that right in the future here. But anyway, this is what I've got for End of You, the version that was going to make it on I Have Become.
Coming home to empty rooms. Every space in here is filled with things we'll never do. A faded couch, a quiet song. I still have that Pink Floyd poster on my wall you left. Our songs will fade like our photographs. My memories will cling to life, but nothing lasts. Lights are off, the floors are clean. I try to be direct, but I still don't know what you mean. Was that the end? Don't remember now the end of you and me. And now the blame has come and gone, and I don't know who to believe. With every word I write your name, I don't remember the end of you. Little prick, a little blood, watched you fall into a cloud of bliss and not get up. I can't ignore the us before. Your light will always shine upon my softest space. And it'll always hurt. I don't remember now the end of you and me. And now the blame has come and gone, and I don't know who to believe. With every word I write your
The End of You, as recorded by Henry's Child. It is the unmixed and unpolished version that you just heard. So, there you go. A little bit of history right there. You know, I never really know what to do with these missing music episodes. It's really difficult sometimes to go back in my brain and remember back to the times when these songs were recorded and what we were doing at the time. And I really rely heavily on Rich Clinton. He just has the memory of an elephant, man. And he's very helpful in remembering times and names and things, I guess, that kind of matter in the context of music. The inflection in my voice is because I'm constantly questioning everything that's happening. Everything from COVID to what kind of music we're doing to, you know, when the next website is going to come out or whatever. It's just the constant awareness that we have around it because it's our art and it's very, very important. So I appreciate your feedback. If you do enjoy these types of missing music episodes, you know, we love to bring them to you. We love to talk about what we've done and look forward, more importantly, to what we're doing now. And like I said, Henry's Child is slated for that show in Nevada coming up here, probably around midsummer. Now, if they can get it COVID compliant and we are all in agreement, we will go down and play it, and it'll be an awesome time. And we will definitely be letting you know if we play, for sure. And, you know, as I'm recording this in February, I should say that it's going to be at a minimum May until anybody can even get out and play. And that's if things go swimmingly well, of course. Keep in mind, too, we have not done the CD release show for Listen Closely. So that is coming up with all of its genuine surprises, for sure. Well, listen, thank you so much for hanging in there with me. And thank you so much for downloading and listening to the Am I Crazy or Am I Just Raving podcast. If you are not already on our newsletter list, go to henryschild.com and drop your first name and your email address and hit the download button. You'll be sent a version of Human Being that is different than what's on the record, and you'll be added to our list for us to let you know what's going on in the world of Henry's Child. Thanks again for listening, and let me know if you want to hear more missing music episodes in the future. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we love you. Hang in there, wear a mask, and this is all going to end soon. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.